Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rouge, the movie. So, first thought that might be going through your head, is this a donation reward? I've been talking about Hunter x Hunter in the ARC reviews that I've done. So has someone requested that I react to this movie? No. This is not a donation reward. This is something I have chosen to do for two reasons. One, I'm watching the series alongside a reactor named Rough Senpai, and he just reacted to this movie. And that goes into number two, which tells me that this movie is safe to react to or to watch based on where I'm at in the series. And I'm watching along with his reactions, so I'm where he is, which is like just into the 90s. So I looked it up and I found out you could technically watch this movie. I think it said after episode 60, which surprised me that it was that early, but okay, we're gonna watch it. I know nothing about this movie, but I have seen again up to like early 90s, and for the episodes of the 2011 series specifically. And I love this show. It's fantastic. I love the characters. I love the plot points. I love the different arcs for different reasons, and I can't wait to see what this movie has in store. Um, I've seen like one little shot of like I guess a screen cap of it when I was just getting the movie and everything, and so I just know that the main characters are in it. I don't know the context behind the screen cap. I don't like know what happened. It's just I wanted to let you know that I saw something from it, but I'm interested to see what this has in store, like what we see from our main characters, Killua, Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio. I want to see if Hisoka's in it at all. If we get to see the likes of Bisky, like that would be amazing. Um, though if it's up to episode 60, I'm wondering, is Bisky in at that point? I'm actually not 100%. I don't remember what episode she comes in. Um, but I'm very interested to see. Now, based off the title, Phantom Rouge, instantly makes me think of Phantom Troop. So I'm wondering if the Phantom Troop are going to have a relevance to this. And if so, that means Kurapika is also going to be pretty damn relevant to the movie because he's directly connected with the Phantom Troop. We'll have to see. Now, I know obviously the movie is not canon, so it doesn't really matter where it takes place. But I'm wondering if they like have anything in the movie to like tell us like where it would if it were canon. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested to see how it compares to the series and everything. And hopefully I end up enjoying it. So we're just gonna get this started and hope for the best. And like I said, this is just something I randomly decided to do. There will still be a donation reward movie this week. I did promise someone that I was going to be getting to their donation reward movie coming up. So that will be coming up later this week. I just wanted to do this because, again, I saw Rough Senpai had reacted to it, and it's like, I want to watch his reaction to it, but I also have to see the movie first. And I decided, why not? Let's do a reaction. I'm not reacting to the series, but I can react to the movie. So yeah, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode or to the movie. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So in between recording the reaction and this, I wanted to look up to see if Tagashi did have any connection into the movie or if it was just like made by the anime companies and all. And actually he did. See, he actually created this story. Well, to put it more simply, the movie was based off of a story that he made, an unpublished story. So it was based off of one of Tagashi's works that just never ended up getting published. On top of that, he actually wrote a prequel, two-part manga called Karapika Recollection that was, like I said, a prequel to this movie. Um, so it's not canon to the series and everything, but the creator did have a hand in it. Oda, no, Oda from One Piece does the same thing. He takes part in the movies in helping make the movies as well, but the movies are still not canon to the series. Like the events of which aren't they don't affect anything in the series and all. And I like that. Even if the stories aren't going to be connected to the series, I like the idea still that the creators still have a say in things and still have a bit of a pull and a bit of a just connection to the film. It makes it feel more natural. So let's talk about this film now. Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rouge, just initial thoughts right off the bat. I liked it, but if I were to compare it to the different arcs I've seen of the series so far, including what I've seen of where I'm at in Chimera Ant arc, it would be easily my least favorite. And that's not to say it's bad. That's not to say this was unenjoyable or bad or anything like that, because it wasn't. It was very enjoyable. It had some great stuff in it, some great ideas and themes and whatnot. But there was also a lot of the movie that was boring to me. There was a lot of the movie where the characters were just talking or sitting around, or there was some expository stuff, and it just felt slow, like very slow. Um, and that's something that I don't ever really get with the actual series. Like, there's really no parts so far in the actual series, the actual main series, that has felt super slow like that. That has felt like really just dragging on. Um, and even despite some other like fans saying that certain parts do drag on, I've never like discovered that. I've never really thought that with any parts of the show. Mind you, the 2011 show again, just counting for that. But still, this movie definitely had those parts. But the other part is that when this film gets good, it gets really fucking good. Um, I loved the concept of the enemy being the former number four spider of the Phantom Troop. I love the concept of him being an evil puppeteer who creates these horrific Nen puppets that have the memories and abilities of the person that they're emulating. I love the concept of using the Phantom Troop as using puppets of the Phantom Troop, using a puppet of Illumi, and all of that. I love a lot of the concepts here, but this the stuff with the Kurta clan part of this movie, with what we saw of Karapika's past and Pyro and everything, I didn't like. And honestly, this was in my eyes the weakest part of the movie, even more so than the pacing. I just I felt that what they did with that all felt off to me, and I don't know why entirely. But Pyro just he feels like a movie character, but also the fact that the movie tries to make him as like this. Oh, he was a member of the Kurta clan. He was best friends with Karapika. He's kind of made out to be excessively important to Karapika's past. And it's not just like the idea that, oh, then why, then the fact that Karapika would never mention him before even with the trauma he endured with the Kurta clan's destruction and everything. It makes no sense. It's not that it's not just that, but it's also just the fact that it really seems like it was just something added for the sake of adding something to this kind of backstory. What we saw of the Kurta clan as well, the other clan members and everything, and the trial to leave the Kurta clan uh, village or whatever, also seems very weird to me. Like they made the Kurta clan seem like this isolated, like this extremely isolated, almost I guess you could say almost like Amish group. Like they try to just keep away from everyone else and try to keep everyone from going into the other world except for like supplies and stuff. And it just seemed off to me because I don't think it ever mentioned in the series that the Kurta clan were like that. That they were this isolated, just restrictive group like that. It just felt like it was just some kind of weird decision that I just didn't quite mesh with. Um, and the idea that they don't like go out or anything, and Karapika had to pass this like three-stage test to even be able to go out into into the rest of the world is it just again it just seems like a weird decision compared to what we've heard about the Kurta clan prior to this. And there's also the entire bit of the plot hole that it's never addressed again after they find out in the flashback and everything after Karapika and Pyro had found out that the village elder had been actively trying to fuck with their chances at passing. Well, Karapika's chances. He was the one who's technically taking the test. But the village elder was actively like hiring thugs to fuck with them to get Karapika to get angry and to get his eyes to go red. They were literally trying to force him to fail. And the only reason that he passed was because of Pyro having a cunning little plan, which, like, that was fine and all, I guess, but it was never addressed. Like, it's like, oh, we found out the village elder's kind of a scumbag. But then they go back to the village. He passes and it's never addressed. He passes only because his eyes weren't red because Pyro had the cunning plan to switch out the eye drops. It makes no sense to me that would be brought up. And it was made a pretty big deal out of and just be dropped as a plot point. I feel like this could have worked better as like an arc in the series because then it would have had more time to breathe and develop certain things in certain parts of this. As it was, it just felt very weak by comparison. Leorio didn't really get to do much, but he did do something, so I'm glad about that. He did a little more than he usually does, but still, it's like he really didn't need to be there other than encouraging Karapika a bit. And that really kind of sucks because that was always like one of my small issues with the series too, that Leorio just doesn't do much of anything. And that might change like in the future of the series. It might just be where I'm at still, but yeah, it's always been one of my little issues with it. It doesn't ruin the series for me, but it's annoying and noticeable. Um, but like I said, when it gets good, it gets really good. The action scenes are fantastic. The stuff with Killua, easily my favorite part of the movie. And I'll fully admit that's out of bias. Killua is my favorite character, and part of the reason is because of his character arc, his backstory, the trauma he's experienced, and how he's working past that with Gon's help, and just his general connection with Gon and like mutual respect and love for each other. It's just that is what really draws me to him and makes him my favorite character. I mean, all of that kind of stuff and everything else we see of him, really. Even his abilities and stuff are really just cool. Plus, also, he has the best fashion sense of any of the characters, let's be honest. um, so it's like, yeah, of course, the stuff that focuses on his interactions with the puppet Illumi and his traumas that he suffered from the real Illumi and everything. Of course, that stuff's going to be my favorite parts of the movie. That's not going to be a question. um, so of course, I love that. But I did like I wish that they did more with the puppet Crollo. Because again, he uses the book with other people's abilities that he's stolen in it. It was cool getting to see the indoor fish again, but it's like just that's really all they did with him. It's like, oh, I use the indoor fish, and then I'll just use just typical action attacks with a knife. It's like that's it, and it's a little disappointing because there could have been so much done, but the only thing I can think of is that maybe the puppet master couldn't copy that Nen ability because of how complex of a Nen ability it is or something. I don't know. Um, the stuff with the girl Retz was really sad too. Like again, that's why I kind of wish this had been like a filler arc in the series because it could have been so much better if it was just paced out better. Um, the stuff with Retz was heartbreaking. Her psychotic, evil piece of shit older brother murdered her to take her eyes for his puppets, and then created a puppet version of her and started looking for the perfect eyes for her puppet. And it's like, you were just so fucked up, and there's not even any real repentance for it, which I do appreciate that the movie didn't try to make him out to be like redeemed or make him out to be like in the end having like good motives or reason for doing what he did. No, he didn't even like try to repent in the end. He basically tried to continue making excuses up to his death. He's like, you were immortal, you were beautiful, just perfect and everything. And it's like, it was so gross. But I'm glad that like Rex was the one to deal the final blow because that way it didn't have to be Kilo or Karapika. I like that Killua stopped Karapika, but I also like that Killua himself didn't have to do it. It was just, but I like that they actually addressed all of that too. So I'm glad it was Rex that took him out in the end. I think it was a very fitting way for him to end, to be taken out by the person, the puppets of the person that he murdered, being his little sister. Believe me, that irritates me. That pisses me off. Um, and again, if this had just been paced out better, if it had just been a like an arc, like a even a small arc in the show, a filler arc, it would have been a lot better. I feel it would have been just so much better if it were paced out better like that. As it is, it's just it drags on in too many places, and it feels like certain parts are just kind of there for a second, abandoned, and then come back for a second again, like the entire thing with the Phantom Troop at the end. It's like, oh, like we're here, we'll help take down Vogan's puppet, and then you won't see or hear anything about us until the very end of the movie, and it's like, okay, and it was just kind of disappointing. It was cool to get to see them in action again, but disappointing overall. Um, Either way, I very much enjoyed the film. Still, it was still enjoyable to watch. It was still fun, and it just wasn't as good as the actual main series. But tell me in the comments below what you thought of the movie of Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rouge. And I think there's a second movie, but I think I have to be much further along before I would react to that. So maybe once I get to the point where I can, maybe I will. Um, we'll see how it goes. And in the meantime, I will continue to do arc reviews for Hunter x Hunter. So once I finish Chimera Ant, I will put up an arc review for that. So look forward to that in the future. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.